You just caught me. Slumber that I was taking on the call. Nor a particular reason.
See, funny story about that. I only started live streaming just now, but I was already in the call for a while. Right now, I'm just getting my phone's charging cord secured with some of my desk's drawers. That way it won't move.
Yeah, desk drawers. Lucky.
Yes, look at my old desk, likely from the 50s or earlier. Anyways, I gotta go. Railroad Preserver 2000 here, back again doing another live stream on Roblox, the new Roblox train game High Iron. This is a redo of my prior stream because a lot of stuff I did or said in the prior stream was simply inaccurate, and I'm currently joined by two of the people involved directly with the game's creation. Nostalgic and Spirit. I've currently got my computer speakers muted at the moment, so I can't hear them, but they can hear me. Nostalgic and Spirit, if you guys would look to my YouTube channel, I believe you can text in the live chat, if I'm not mistaken. Seal Shark is already in the chat. Hello, sir. All right, so now with all that out of the way, I'm going to unmute right about now. All right, so as you can see, there's Mr. Nostalgia and Spirit. Hello, gentlemen.
Hi. Hello. If you hear a dog in the background, that is me. I am very sorry.
Don't feel bad. Everyone on the stream is. Don't worry. Everybody in these streams is used to hearing Thor going nuts, so you're good. Yes.
I see you all are cursed with the curse of a dog.
Not really cursed. For me, it's a blessing because I have a living bed warmer, so I'm not complaining too much.
Oh.
Yes.
You're lucky my dog doesn't sleep with me in my bed.
Hang on. Do we have a Monon unit in the game? Because I just noticed that in the test layout thumbnail.
Yeah. One singular one.
I love that my desk makes weird noises. It's so good.
Me too, eh?
Project Grit.
Because then I think that there is a demon in the house.
Welcome to Project Grit. All right, so I'm going to be on the testing layout so I can show the controls off. So while my thing decides to take forever and a day to load, Spirit, would you like to give a brief explanation as to what High Iron is?
Sure, I guess. Simply put, it's a realistic train simulator, sort of akin to Rails Unlimited or other games. I suppose with more features and detail in certain places.
That's good. And of course, as you guys know, I like a lot of the stuff concerning extra detail and whatnot. Oh, I didn't realize you could interact with the camera. Let's see, what do we have? Oh! Okay, we got some FNAF style camera stuff here. That's funny, and I love that it's got a VHS grain, even though it's likely not VHS. Wait a second. How do I get... Oh, that's how. Okay. Yeah, I've seen early... I know what an early 2000s video camera looks like, because I still have one. Yeah, fun fact, for those of you who don't know, the first 5 years of my life were filmed on VHS. And I'm still, to this day, 20 years later, I'm trying to figure out how to transfer all that to the more modern media formats. Anyways, I'm here for the trains, not the camera stuff. So, yeah, as Spirit said, High Iron is, of course, a newer train game that's come out recently. I think it was what, December 2023, is that right?
No, that's just when we made the main game place on the group. It's been in development for like a year and a half and released last month.
Ah.
Actually, a month ago today.
Oh, so it's actually newer than what I was thinking. Okay. I thought it had been around since 2023. Okay. So I guess that was the beta phase.
Half of its life cycle. Well, around half of its existence was also while we were developing Global Rails at the same time, so it was more on the back burner for like a year.
Now I've heard of Global Rails, but I'd never played it. Is it based?
Can't blame you. We don't like it.
Y'all don't like it either.
No.
Fair enough.
Much more a fan of our newest thing.
Well, I mean, to be honest, even though what you've got right now is small, I mean, as you guys know from prior experience, I already love what I'm seeing immensely. And really, a lot of what you guys are doing here is already kind of blowing Rails Unlimited clear out of the water. And, I mean, currently, as you can tell, the roster is not very big. You've got 5 steam locomotives, whereas before, when I did the first attempt on this, there was, 4 of them, I believe? Yeah, because 4960 wasn't in the game yet. Electric, well, there's nothing here yet, but that can change. Diesel, there's a lot of diesel. The newest one is CSX. Go figure. Premium, you've got General Motors 50. And then the reward, you had an FEC thing. But, Oh, yeah, there it is. And then you've got the Santa Fe Streamliner Blue Goose. But seeing as I am a avid Steam fan, and since I've seen this engine in St. Louis, I'm going to give 1522 a chance to run. And yeah, I will say this, Spirit, I love what y'all did with the specifications as well as the information, and I also love that you guys included a photo of the real piece of equipment. So, you can see what the model looked like in real life, Because Rails Unlimited didn't do this. They didn't have any of this, from what I remember. And I know I said it in the prior stream. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, their spawn menu is more or less just a list of trains and then the spawn tracks. So
I accidentally left the game. Okay, let me pause and let me fix this real quick. All right, as you guys can see, I got the game back up and running. But yeah, regarding the GUI, since I know I mentioned it before in the prior stream, but I'll mention it again. I like that y'all included the information about the various pieces of equipment, like the locomotives and stuff, but I didn't know if, would there be a chance to potentially include whether or not the locomotive was preserved or scrapped or not later on?
Yeah, we could probably make that happen. I've thought about it since the former live stream and how I could possibly implement that.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be a very detailed thing. I mean, you could say X number were saved, X number were scrapped. And of course, with 1522 in particular, we know it also got an excursion career from, I think, 80s up until 2002, I think. Had 9/11 not have happened, I guarantee you that locomotive would probably still be running. I mean, maybe not in the capacity it was in the 80s, but it still would have been running, I would think. And yeah, speaking of 1522, here it is. If you guys have seen my video of the Transportation Museum in St. Louis, you'll know I've actually seen this engine in person, or rather, the front of it. But already I am loving the detail you guys have here. For one, as I pointed out earlier in the original stream, these engines are, and Spirit, you can correct me on this, these engines are to scale, correct? So, like, when you stand beside them, you're going to be dwarfed by them, whereas in Rails Unlimited, you're about, like, what, half the height of the entire unit? Is that right?
Yeah, all of High Iron is 1-to-1 to an extent.
Well, I can tell you I love it, and I love the fact that the engine's 1-to-1. One thing that is missing, though, and I don't know if it could be added, there's no builder's plates. I just happened to notice that.
Well, I'm not responsible for Steam, so...
Hey, you're good.
I'll let them know.
Hey, you're good. If anything, it's just... I love the amount of detail I'm seeing. I would want to say that. I love the amount of detail. It's just, I also like some of the smaller details. Like, for instance, on the cylinder cowling for Gainesville Midland 208 and 9, there's a little flap that you can lift up. I think it's a service hatch or something, where you can flip it up to look on the inside. But I like that all the rods and whatnot move. There's the air compressors. I don't know if 1522 had a mechanical lubricator. It wouldn't surprise me if it did, but that would be somewhere up in here, I would think. It doesn't have to be functional. I'm just thinking it may have been there. Though I could be wrong. Firebox there. Normally there'd be rivets and stay bolts visible. Of course, I know y'all have to keep that to a minimum, which is understandable. Rear truck. I love all the details I'm seeing here with the roller bearings and whatnot. See, none of this little detail was ever added, I don't think, to Rails Unlimited's 1522. And that's one thing I love. I mean, you can literally walk into this, and you can see everything about this engine has been modeled to the T. Right down to the frame even being open. And I don't know if people knew this, but I did commission, I believe it was UNT50 or somebody else. It was either the guy who made DG County or somebody else. I don't remember who it was. I had commissioned a model of the locomotive Texas, believe it or not. The 440 from the Andrews raid, but in its final revenue appearance, which I believe was for a logging use or something. So it was heavily modified from what it looked like during the Civil War, but that's still in progress. I just gotta get the funding together to finish that off. But anyways, I'm looking at this and I'm blown away by the detail, and I love it. I love all of it. And one thing I like in particular, you guys included the polling notches on the front and back running boards. That's something you don't really see in a lot of models anymore. And I noticed the tender has solid friction bearings. That's accurate. I don't know if they ever upgraded those to roller bearings or not. But yeah, enough of looking at the detail. Here's the cab view and the GUI for it. So you've got power here that can be raised and lowered with W and S. Brakes that can be raised and lowered with A and D. Is that right?
Yep.
All right. And I believe E is emergency brake. R is forward and reverse. H and J are for the whistle and quill. Bell is B. And I would think, what triggers the headlights, like the front headlight, rear headlight marker, and the cylinders?
The headlights and rear headlights can be toggled with L and K. The markers don't have keybinds, but the cylinders can be toggled with C.
Oh, I see now, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know the cylinders could be toggled.
And at least you guys have them corresponding, which is good. And yeah, also y'all have the different camera views. So here's the engineer view here, front view, rear view from the tender. And I love this shot. That's something I always tried to do in Rails Unlimited and other train games. Although, whenever I would try to film while on the train, now this is another idea for another camera angle. I would often try to get a view similar to this, but as if you had a camera mounted on, say, this part of the cylinder here. Actually, let me go on the side that's lit. Yeah, basically it's like, I try to replicate it where you have, like, say, a camera mounted where my mouse is on the cylinder looking back. And, you know, I try to do it on this view, but I also try to do it on this one too, because, you know, if you're going around a curve, you can see the whole consist from this view. And it's actually a really good shot. And the reason for this, believe it or not, is thanks to something I saw on a Mark I video documentary where they had 3985 rigged with cameras. I think that was Operation San Jose, which was NRHS Convention 92, I believe. And the camera, I remember it because they were easing the engine around the Y, and the camera that was mounted on the cylinder, it was on this side, ended up getting knocked upside down by by some vegetation. And yeah, I remember Jim Boyd jokingly said, presenting the first exclusive Mark I flip cam. And it was because the camera was still running, and all they had to do later was rotate the image post-production. And it still turned out a good shot, which was hilarious, to be perfectly honest. So yeah, you know, if y'all ever add 3985, there's a neat little Easter egg y'all could add if you wanted. Just have like a cylinder.
Fascinating.
Well, I mean, you could add like a freaking flip cam view, because why not? Yeah, that's I had to have been like 5 or 6 when I first saw the documentary. But yeah, here's a good example of what I meant, where I'm trying to get the camera view. And yeah, I know you guys have an engineer like point of view here, but have y'all thought of adding other camera angles like the ones I mentioned?
We'd like to. There just isn't any room on the UI for them.
Would there be any way to do like something similar over here, like the swap thing?
I mean, I suppose it's just a matter of having to add it to several trains, and it's such a hassle to deal with.
Well, maybe some new ones could have some newer camera angles, I guess. Who knows? Or, you know, there could be a way to toggle it, like with keybinds, maybe. Like, do you think maybe that would help?
I don't know. I'll look into it.
I mean, if not, that's fine. I was just curious. Also, are the markers able to be like toggled to different colors, or was white what was commonly was what it was commonly set to?
You can set it to off, white, red, and green. You just press the button multiple times.
Ah, I see. That's neat. That's neat. And I like that y'all have like a beam from the headlight. I like that touch. That's nice. Okay, I was going to say I didn't see a steam dynamo, but I just saw it now. Yeah, I've got the game audio muted at the moment.
I do believe my food is here. I will be back in a second.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to turn the game audio on now.
Oh, yeah.
There we are.
You said that as food arrived. Back in a second.
I would think the locomotive audio would be a lot faster than this, but that's just me. Oh well.
Yeah, personally me too, but oh well. There'll be something changed in the future. I mean, everything seen here is subject to change.
Oh yeah, because none of this is final. Like That's another thing I meant to say. None of what you guys see in this stream is final. In fact, this little test layout is, I believe you said it was temporary, so it could even be erased if you wanted to.
We just figured since we've been using it for so long that it would be something a little extra fun for people to drive around in, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably add, like, other stuff.
Yeah, I've thought about that in the past, but so I've been prioritizing the actual maps over everything else.
I know.
It's more of a bonus thing.
Oh. Well, that didn't take long. Apparently it derailed. I can't remember. How do you, oh, that's right, I remember. Yeah, to delete the train, you just hit E. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, other games I've noticed, if you don't set the switch back, normally the switches will reset automatically so you don't derail. Oh well. Let me try this again. La bonk. Alright, there's 1522 again. Oh, and I just noticed the little steam effect for the dynamo. I like that. Though I will say, I think... Yeah, I just noticed. I love that y'all added a steam effect for the dynamo. See, that's a little touch no one else would think of, and I love that that was added. Of course, I would think that's normally kept running pretty much whenever the engine's running, right?
Yeah, but we figured it'd be cooler if it turned on at night with everything else.
Yeah, that's true.
Lights, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. And of course, I noticed it doesn't have this theme effect when it's running. That's just something I happened to notice.
The dynamo isn't there when it's moving?
No. It is there. I'm saying the little steam effect that I'm seeing. It's no longer there when the engine starts to move, because, I mean, I've been around plenty of steam engines. Usually they keep the dynamo running to keep the lights going. Because it's basically a little steam generator. That's all it is.
It is there. It's just like lags behind.
Ah, okay. Now the real question, is the whistle steam animated? Let's see. Yes, it is. And I like that y'all can quill it. That's a touch a lot of people were asking for on Rails Unlimited, and it never really got added.
It's one of my favorite things. It was not really easy to code, that's for sure, but it was definitely worth it.
One other thing, though, I want you to note, brakes are on, okay? Watch what happens when I increase power.
Yeah, I saw that a few minutes ago. I'm not sure. I might have to adjust the brake power, but good news is it's not letting you get up to top speed, so they're somewhat effective.
Oh, let's see just how effective then, shall we?
Oh no.
Now, what was that you said just now? So it caps out at about 25 to 30 something.
They got here late. Ironically, they got stopped by a train.
But unfortunately, my centrifuge is all dried up.
Better water it.
That is true. I didn't put water, actually. Thank you for reminding me about that.
Yeah, here's the other camera angle I was talking about.
So I'll probably adjust the brake power a little bit. It's a fickle thing.
Yes. One other thing. I like that when you get out, the engine automatically comes to a stop, but doesn't disappear. That is a nice touch.
It would seem that I have dropped my whatchamacallit.
One other thing I noticed, and this is something I saw at Saluda recently with these electric switches. Some of these still have a manual override lever alongside in case the electrics fail.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if y'all had thought to maybe add that just in case. Usually it's a lever connected to the box, but on Saluda I did see original manual switch levers still connected. And yeah, I think
I did make that like over a year ago.
Oh no, I know. And I was just gonna say I did photograph this stuff. So I think if y'all wanted to use it, y'all could. I just got to get the pictures.
Yeah, you could very easily replace the well, not replace, model it is what I meant.
I love the grain elevator design, by the way. That's neat. Of course, I've been around a few smaller ones in smaller towns, and a lot of them usually would have like an auger underneath the track, and I think that's how they would unload the grain cars. They'd open one hatch at a time and, go from there. I know the one in Comer.
The testing layout is a bit old.
Well, I know it's old.
The name implies it was just meant for testing out trains, so we
I know.
littered the map with stuff to make it look pretty.
Well, no, I know that, and I'm just pointing out stuff that could be done or taken note of in the future.
Well, that particular grain elevator will be improved later on.
True that?
Or at least we hope so.
Thank you, Neil.
Yes. Let me see. And now, well, in the immortal words of my friend Mr. Gillette, and now it's time for CSX. Engine just locomotive just derails for no apparent reason. That would be a real shame. It'd be a real shame if the locomotive suddenly derailed for some reason. Also, I love the alt horn is just by the way, I love that the alt horn is just the exact same horn as the normal horn. I remember these units, I believe these units did have RS5Ts. If they were like former Seaboard, they'd normally have that horn, so that could be an alt horn.
Well, these are ex-B&O units.
Well, I think, what horns did B&O normally use? I think a lot of them used RS5s for a while. Just in general.
Well, as far as I can tell, they got replaced when they got put on CSX. These particular units are the same specs as B&O GM50.
I mean, if I'm being honest, usually a lot of the diesels were pretty standardized, even back in from the 60s to, I believe, to the present. I mean, they've had some pretty standard designs for the most part, and usually the modifications were not very noticeable unless you knew what to look for. Oh, here's a glitch for you.
Stream.
That's kind of why I figured
when it passed,
some of the units would be easy to make, but they weren't. Because the more I looked at it, the more subtle differences I noticed.
Okay, I guess this is technically a glitch, but either way, it's too funny. It's too funnier to keep it in. When you hit the audio and then scroll in and out with your mouse, it glitches the audio out.
just the Doppler effect going ape shit.
I'm a sick DJ.
It's worse if you spin your camera with the mouse.
Oh, that's even funnier.
I love that some things never change. Oh yeah, here's a interesting camera idea. Here's an interesting camera idea. Just have one mounted like on the track, and just let the train just casually pass over it. Because that was something Rails Unlimited did have, where you could show the underside of the train passing over you.
Yeah,
Amtrak fan, I know you're in the stream chat. I'm going to make it clear. The server I'm talking in is a dev server, so no outside public members can be added. And this is a development map, meaning it's not accessible. There is a public version, but this one here is not.
He is not up to date.
Yes.
Just be known that all the new content that you see in this live stream has not been added to the game yet, but will be in the future.
Yes.
Where will it be added? I don't know. You tell me. I have no idea.
Well, that covers a lot of the rolling stock basics. I'm going to go over to Red Rock to show a bit of that, just in terms of detail. Now, Spirit, in terms of like development, are you in Nostalgia the main developers and modelers, or is that like broken up amongst the people who are good at specific stuff? Steam.
We all have our specific jobs.
Hang on, you broke up a bit. Could you repeat?
Me, you and Sa, and me, Nostalgia, and you and Sa are like the board of directors. We kind of call all the shots, but we have like a team. I want to say of like more than a dozen people. We each do our own little things. Some of us are better with trains, some with the map. It really depends.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, and I know you into 50 is good with Steam. I didn't know if someone else was on there, but
There's a bunch of people who can handle Steam. It's a huge help now.
That's true. All of our Steam engines have been made by several different people.
Trouble is I'm not good with Roblox Studio modeling. If I was, well, games from Midland 208 and 9 would probably be in the game by now. But to be perfectly honest, I don't know who left. Oh. All right, and
died for a second.
Oh yes.
Fresh Discord like an idiot.
You're fine.
Twice.
Yep.
All right. Well,
Good job.
welcome to Red Rock. This is a desert map, and if I'm not mistaken, this is meant to be in what is it? Which Western railroad is this meant to represent? Like all of them, or just a specific one?
Not really specifics. It's just in general.
Yeah. Although some of the signage and whatnot, like the signals used along the railroad, are primarily Santa Fe and Southern Pacific oriented.
Yeah, the searchlights are SP, and I think a lot of the other things are ATSF.
I did find blueprints that showed like signal box and signal designs and layouts for various Western roads. I think I sent them in blueprints, if I'm not mistaken. And if I didn't send them there, then they're in the document I made for y'all. But yeah,
that will be very helpful in the future.
Yes, but I will say this:
paying you a visit, it seems.
I love the I love the interlocking tower detail. I know none of the buildings have any detail on the insides, obviously. I don't think this guy is supposed to be listening to his Walkman while on the job. So, Bud, you might want to put that away before your manager finds out and fires you. Just saying. Anyways, yeah, we've got a railroad diamond here, single track crossing a double main, and I'm guessing this is a railroad shop building here? Question mark. Or is it like a distribution center, like warehouse and stuff?
Oh, it's a Mason warehouse.
Ah. Then we have the depot, which kind of looks inspired by the Santa Fe's depot style, but I could be wrong. Either way, I like it. The one thing I will say, I don't think the depot would have had a wood roof. I think it would have had the brick ceramic tiling on the top. Because I know that was common out west. It was more common than wood. But that's just me. And I love the old towns. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah, I didn't know if any buildings would have interiors. I just wasn't sure. Oh, look, I found the man himself in all his vaporwave glory. Oh my gosh.
I think that's actually Spirit's old Sona that he used before
Mr. Gray, before Mr. Gray, yes.
Exactly.
Well, I love the main street here. But yeah, I didn't know if any of the buildings were going to have interiors later on. But
maybe a couple of them will. It's always nice to have.
Yeah, a few special ones.
Of course, interiors take much more planning.
Yes.
So.
Well, I mean, if it's like, well,
when that'll happen, I don't know.
Well, I mean, good example. That town plan I drew up initially for Rails Unlimited. It doesn't necessarily have buildings apart from where, but it shows where they're going to go. The interiors don't really have to be what you would expect older buildings to have in real life. I mean, a lot of it is. I mean, the town is fictional, but. Mainly because there's a bunch of miscellaneous Georgia towns and stuff that I've been to all mixed in. Like the industries, for instance, the textile mill, that's based on a mill in Jefferson that's now been, I think, converted into a church and mixed use development now. But it was serviced by the Gainesville Midland. You can see where the tracks ran right into the heart of the mill complex. The sawmill, that's based on... It's a sawmill in Georgia, but I don't remember where exactly it is. I just know it's on the way to, like you're going to South Carolina. But the wood chip mill, that's based off a wood chip mill in Sandersville, Georgia, served by the railroad of the same name. And here's the funny thing about the wood chip mill. The company who owns it is named in homage of the Southern Railway. Southern Ships LLC, I believe is the name of it. I thought that was a humorous touch. And then there's a feed mill based on a small operation in Shadydale, Georgia, though it could always be upgraded to what's in Madison or Comer later on. Oh, yeah, now I was going to say, can you spawn multiple diesels in for a consist?
Not at the moment, no. But...
How is this able to get through then?
Add some stuff to the consist editor to make that possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say.
You can.
Okay, well, you can, but it's difficult.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
well, yeah.
Difficult to pull train.
Well, maybe you
We will have like. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say real quick. We will have like dummy units and whatnot be spawnable in the future through the consist editor. So you can have the impression of having extra help on your train and whatnot if you want.
Or if
do anything.
Or if you wanted to have like, or if you wanted to do like a power move like from the 1980s, you could do that and just have
exactly.
Like if you wanted to recreate this right now, like early CSX, where you had multiple different units and all different paint schemes all in one train, you could do that. Of course, you could add like smoke effects at at the very least on the dummy units, like when you're powering up the lead units and whatnot, powering them down, that sort of thing.
Actually, they already do.
Ah, okay.
I mean, look at it right now.
Touche.
No one's in the chassis unit, but it's doing stuff regardless.
Speaking of which, something I noticed that has not been.
Right
What?
you streaming us right now?
I mean, I've been streaming y'all for like the past few minutes now, but
Oh, I didn't grab that.
sorry, I made it. I said I was live in the chat when I started.
Classic Mike.
Sorry, y'all.
On my side, I can't just live stream.
Well, I mean, if it makes y'all feel better, the only thing being captured is your audio. It's not like your faces are being captured. Yeah, one thing actually,
Yeah.
I will say two things I've noticed that are currently missing. Number one, the caboose. Number two, the Fred.
Right.
I don't know if for one,
Get caboose.
I will say this, and I wish I had have say. I'll go on and say it, and I wish I could get back into the Rails Unlimited dev server for this. I did manage to photograph some of the Freds and various other railroad equipment and stuff at a museum in Fredericksburg, Virginia. They had one of those on display. But I only photographed all that stuff for reference use. I never saved the pictures afterward, except on the dev server. And I don't know if anybody else has the pictures. I would think they're still there, but I don't know. But yeah, I will say, in terms of various diesels y'all could add, I mean, if you look at one of the threads I have, I believe it's locos and rolling stock. I think I was able to add most of the Hartwell Railroad roster, which is a bunch of older power in various original paint. I know RF&P is one of CSX's predecessor roads, and they have a unit in that livery still, 136. I think that'd be an interesting addition. And in a way, it would kind of preserve at least one of Hartwell's pieces of equipment digitally. You know? Because I don't know if that unit will be saved. I mean, it just really depends on who's owning the railroad at the time. I know they have donated older equipment in the past. I know a lot of their older diesels are at the museum in Duluth, and I know that an early Jeep they had that belonged to the Georgia Railroad, they donated that fairly recently too. But yeah, they got a Chessie High Hood. They've got a Mesabi and Iron. No, not an Iron Range. What am I saying? They got a Bessemer and Lake Erie High Hood. They got a C&W High Hood. And I think they had a few others, early ones from like a few other high hoods from the 50s and all. Also, I'll go on and say it. I love the crossing. I love the crossing so much. And I love that y'all added the reflectors on the signs too. That's a nice touch. And
yes.
And
the railroad crossings were actually created by moi, yours truly.
Well, they look great. You know, one thing that would be interesting to do, I don't think it'd be possible, but if you had like a flashlight, you could, if you were to like illuminate this, it would glow.
Okay, Spirit, you're right. Triple headers suck right now.
Yeah, they do.
Yes.
Well, I know, Kevin, I know modern cabooses are called shoving platforms, but come on. Oh, one other thing. I love that you have the crossing system's functions accurate in terms of the train actually being the circuit for it to work. Because I want you to notice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you guys watching the stream notice, the train has cleared the crossing, but the crossing is still active. It won't go out unless the train breaks the circuit. In fact, I think if you guys look in the thread I have concerning Madison, oh, working benches, that's a nice touch. I think I photographed where the Cater Parrot Railroad actually has a crossing circuit wire inserted into the track. I believe it's like that wire, but that goes along a certain point of rail. Am I right?
I think so.
I think I sent it either in the Madison thread or General Ref's thread that I made. Here, actually, we shall not wonder. Well, actually, we shall not wonder. I'll look right now. Let me see here. General Refs. Oh, shout out to those friends of mine there. Oh, yeah, here we go. Right here. Perfect. You guys look on stream. That's what I'm talking about right there. And also, take note. You can see how one of the switches was designed. I actually saved one of these once from Derelict Rail Yard in Athens. It was an old Southern yard. Stub end yard, rather.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Oh, those things.
And actually, note, I just noticed this. Let me open this in browser. I want you to take note of this. Firstly,
Oh, Christ, oops.
yeah, look, there's a wire here. There's a smaller one here. And there's a bunch right here. So this is literally where they have their crossing being triggered right here. Because there's more wires that I didn't see until now. I'm surprising even myself.
I forgot the loops weren't at the end of the map.
Yeah, various switch stands. Like,
I think about it. It might be good to put on those little plate things so people can see where the circuit is.
You know, actually, here's the rest of it right here. So that's interesting. So they have multiple wires due to the switch. If you look right here, see? That's the whole setup right there. Yeah, that's it right there. And note, it's going over 3 rails there, and right there. You can just barely see it, and it wouldn't surprise me if it's over on the other side as well. Oh, no. No, it's not. But yeah, I don't know what... I've always wondered what this piece of the switch is called right here. You can see where one is missing right there, but I guess that's to hold the rail in place, question mark?
Wait, let me take a look. That?
Yeah.
No, that's not the one where to push the rails. That's the thing that's underneath it.
You know, this piece right here. I remember I'd saved one.
Maybe it was just to hold the tracks together, because look, the other ones have it.
Yeah, and then there's this one here that's missing. Oh, and also, Bethlehem steel switch. Right there with the switch locks. Well, no, it's not that you don't have to be sure. I already know, because there's the name. I think 100% of the... I swear, Bethlehem had a freaking monopoly on these switch stands, man. I'm telling you, I've seen them everywhere across the United States. I gotta wonder if somebody's bought that patent by now, because they'd make a killing with it. And then, of course, the Southern Whistle Posts.
Alright, time to do some switching.
Oh, and also, this is at the depot in Madison, the Georgia Railroad Depot. I photographed its old signal pole, and it still has a patent number visible there. And if you're curious as to why I photographed this lamp in sequence here, it's mainly so each specific part could be modeled like 3-dimensionally or however y'all do it. I couldn't get the top, obviously, but I got it as best as I could. And then the hopper details, so that, you know, if y'all did this style of hopper, y'all have the writing and the labeling and stuff. Oh, and I also found this thing. I have no clue what this is, unless it was like a wheel chalk of some kind. I don't know.
Looks like pie is
What?
like a really bad pie. Looks like a really bad railway tie or something. I'm not a tie. Those things on.
You're breaking up really bad. I don't think this is a rail-related thing at all, actually. I just happened to find it and photograph it with various angles. And I just left it there. I didn't take it. And then there's more hopper detailing here. And I think the pumps here are for, like, where they fill up their tankers. Because, like, well, not the tankers, the semis. Because the mill, this feed mill in Madison actually uses the old Georgia Railroad Depot as its offices. Then I got insulator details in case y'all want to add them. And then these were some of the older reference photos I actually saved for Rails Unlimited. This is all in Greensboro. These are some I sent via DMs, so that's the only reason I was able to find them. You got sidewalk detailing, various other details, benches, and that sort of thing, railings. Oh yeah, this is on the CSX main from Greensville to Augusta, or Greensboro to Augusta. I think that's the only original signal left on the entire route. I haven't seen any others. Yeah, and then all this is Bishop. Hull, that's in Hull. This is all in Rayburn Gap, the Tallulah Falls stuff. Auburn, that's gas pumps in Auburn. That's in Chattanooga, Rayburn, Warm Springs, Winder, Ficklin, Georgia. That's all in Ficklin, Georgia. Greensboro, Forsyth, Greensboro, Farmington, Bishop, Roanoke. This is all in Roanoke. Baltimore. Yeah, Roanoke and Baltimore, I believe. Yeah, see, I can just look at one of these photos and I can tell you exactly where I took them. That's in Cass. These are in Massachusetts, I believe. I was in Massachusetts for a brief period while up in New England. Gainesville, this is where the old Gainesville Midland came into town. This has all been cut off, and it just diverts over into a sharp curve. That's probably in Hull. I just don't remember. Ficklin again. I don't know why I put that in, but, y'all can use that, I guess. This is in Rutledge. I don't know what this was for. Madison. I believe these were in Greensboro in an antique shop in Greensboro, Georgia. This was all railroad-related stuff, so I saved it via photography. That's an insulator I recovered from Eatonton and just other various things. But I can go over that post-stream. But yeah, going back to the game now, I love the main street. I'll go on and say that. I love the main street, and I love the depot. I don't know if Red Rock would be considered a major terminus point for the railroad, but it wouldn't surprise me if there was, a fairly small, well, yeah, there is a small shop here. I'm an idiot. Sorry. Yes, y'all got the suburbs. That's normal. One thing y'all don't have is the unfortunate urban sprawl that came later. But
oh, fuck.
What is it?
One slight tap and the things are off.
Yeah, that might be something that could be added, a way to break the cars so that, break the cars down when they're not connected to anything. So if you are doing switching maneuvers, they won't move, like they're anchored. Whoever's driving the blue goose, that goose nearly just ran me over. Just wanted to point that out. Let's see. La Banque, and La Banque.
I saw that.
Oh, one other thing. Since y'all have a little 040 saddle tank, I ended up finding a video I sent somebody a while ago of Narcoa #1. It was, I think, the last fireless steam locomotive in operation here in the U.S. It was last used, I think, in 1985. It's now preserved in North Carolina. But, yeah, I didn't know if y'all had thought about adding a fireless locomotive or two. I mean, there's several examples, but I just don't know if that had been something on y'all's minds.
Oh no, this switching is actually fun.
Oh, I just ran Blue Goose off the map. I'm sure that's fine.
Yay!
Yeah, I'm just running with a little tiny saddle tank. I love when you scroll out, it makes even the train audio go faster. Like, listen.
Yep, that's what it do. Doppler effect is pretty cool.
Another little detail that I think could be added with the locomotives. Sometimes if you see them in low light and stuff, you'll be able to actually see the glow of the fire between the firebox and the ash pan. So that could probably be a nice little touch that could be added in.
I'm pretty sure it already has that.
No, I don't think it does. Let me check.
The fire glow? Yes, it does.
It does in fact have a little box glow.
Well, no, yeah, I see that, but I'm just saying where the seam is between the firebox and the ash pan. If you were to look at it from the side, you could see the fire glow from outside. I just didn't.
Mm.
It was just something I happened to notice.
It's so good.
I love when you just hit the brakes, it just slides. That's accurate.
Oh yeah, the wheels slip.
It's like Buster Keaton just brutally abusing the locomotives in the general, as Heist once said.
Yes. Lord. Figuring this paint scheme out is, ooh.
It is absolutely wonderful.
Oh man. Make it. I'm currently working on a locomotive right now. I won't say which one it is because I want it to be a surprise. It's a Union Pacific one. Some of you already know what it is, but trying to figure out how to do the
Oh, that's interesting.
that they did on.
I just realized. Oh, wait a minute. Let me. Oh, that was an interesting touch. It added the sound of the brakes being disengaged. That's interesting.
I sure am glad that YouTube is not letting me be caught up with the live stream.
Try and refresh. Hang on, refresh it.
So,
Refresh it. There should be a way to click. There should be something that you can click on the live stream in the normal play bar that lets you skip ahead.
Yeah, I just keep clicking live to get to the latest possible second.
you
Every
don't
time I
want
tab out to go back to the game.
Hey, Rare, you can delete that train that I left there. My computer crashed. My Roblox crashed, so if you can delete that, go for it.
Uh-oh.
Oh, but you won't buy a new computer.
I'm kind of in the same boat. Don't worry about it.
Well, to be fair, buying new computers is rather expensive.
Well,
Oh, as if you can't afford it.
let's see. So in terms of the contest thing, you can just... Yeah, in terms of the contest, you can go over here and just, well, do what they're doing.
What am I even doing here?
This is basically what Crab Orchard and Egyptian 17 was doing right here, just hauling AD0 free until it suffered a dry pipe failure. That's basically what it was doing. Of course, then again, what it was doing was hauling a... of course, it was pretty much doing... The railroad it operated on pretty much moved storage cars around, if I'm not mistaken, as well as serve genuine rail customers. Wait, is this guy about to go off the edge? Yes, he is! Oh my god! And he's out of here. Bye-bye. Yeah, goodbye.
Personally love whenever the whole train
He just jumps off the freaking edge.
Yes, exactly.
Train expert, do you model Steam?
Oh, he's AFK. I'll answer that question for him. He's not a dev.
Oh, oof.
No, he's I think
He's one of our moderators who also does quality assurance.
Hmm.
I was gonna say moderator, but I wasn't entirely sure. I have no idea what the hell I am doing.
Well, get a clue. It's quite simple.
Get a clue, huh? I'm not really a big fan of board games.
I wonder if I can use these
End of the line! Ah!
and just steal little Joe.
Anyways, I think that'll pretty much wrap the stream up, unless I've missed something. Because when I tried to do switching, I failed miserably, but anyways.
Oh. It does not like that I'm doing that.
Anyways,
I cannot pull a little